Abusive men use acts of kindness to earn the right to be abusive. They're going to bring you flowers the day after they scream at you. They help with something small, and then they expect praise like they're man of the year. They're going to kiss you on your forehead and say, "You know I love you," just hours after making you feel worthless. And somehow you end up feeling guilty for being upset. That isn't love, it's manipulation. Now, my name is Lisa Sonni. I'm a toxic and abusive relationship expert. I help women unravel exactly this kind of confusion. If this is already hitting close to home, hit subscribe. I break this down all the time. You can also work with me one-on-one or join my private membership club. Both are linked in the caption. So let's really talk about how this works, okay? Because if he was always cruel, you'd have left, but he's not. And that's what makes this so difficult to see clearly. He's sweet sometimes, thoughtful, affectionate. He can even make you laugh until your stomach hurts. I get it. In those moments, it probably feels like, okay, maybe this is still worth it. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe he means it when he says he loves you. But what's actually happening is this. Those good moments are being used as leverage. He's not just doing something kind. He's actually making a transaction. It's not because I really want to make this right because I know I hurt you. It's more like, here's something nice. Now, would you drop it? And if you don't, if you have the audacity to still bring up your pain or ask for change or set a boundary, here's what you're going to hear. Don't the nice things I do count for anything? You never give me credit for the good things that I do. I took you out last weekend. I even helped you when you were sick. I'm trying and you're never satisfied. Nothing I ever do is good enough for you. Now, your pain has a price, right? If you don't accept his effort as full payment for the damage that he caused, you're the problem. This isn't love. We're going to call this emotional accounting. He gives you this little breadcrumb and he expects this lavish feast in return. He says, "I'm trying," and you're supposed to just ignore the fact that nothing's actually changed. There's no repair. So it's pressure. It's not healing. It's a reset of his trap. And I say this a lot in my videos because this is so important. The good exists to facilitate the bad. I'm saying it twice. The good exists to facilitate the bad. The kindness, it really serves a purpose. They're not kind sometimes. They're strategic. They know that it creates confusion and attachment. These small acts of kindness, right? They become these little emotional bargaining chips. He gives you a ride to work, takes you out to dinner, he whispers, "I love you" after a fight. And all of this is code for, we just need a clean slate. There is no clean slate. Nothing's been cleaned. There's no accountability, no change, no empathy, just let's move on. So you end up playing along, and it's never because you're okay. It's honestly because you're exhausted. And all of what I've described, this creates a trauma bond. That's an unhealthy emotional attachment that forms in any relationship where there's abuse and devaluation mixed with this intermittent kindness. You never know when that kindness will come. And here's something that people really just don't talk about often enough. He's not just using kindness to control you. He's also using it to control how other people see him. That's that sort of reputation shield, right? Abusers and narcissists, they are so concerned with image management. To outsiders, he's helpful, he's friendly, generous. My abuser is the nicest guy you will ever meet, unless you're a woman that he's in a relationship with and behind closed doors. The guy's a literal monster. Your abuser might donate to charity, coach a team, post photos of you smiling, say nice things about you to other people, but he's selective. Only certain people get that version of him that really seems stable and kind. The rest are never going to see the manipulation and the rage or the gaslighting. That creates this shame, right? Because then you start to wonder if you're the problem because everybody else seems to think that he's amazing. But that isolation is by design. So when you finally say, "I'm not okay, he's abusing me, he's awful," people are like, "Really? He seems like such a nice guy. I don't know, he was always nice to me." Honestly, you're really lucky to have someone who does so much for you. So now, on top of this guy's manipulation privately, you're being discredited publicly. And it keeps you isolated. And isolation benefits the abuser. So how do you explain the abuse that really hides behind this facade, this charm? How do you explain that the man who brings you coffee is also the one who just destroys your self-esteem? And you can't even explain why you don't just leave if he's so bad. You probably don't even understand it yourself. Now that cognitive dissonance, it becomes your prison. Now I have other videos explaining cognitive dissonance in way more depth, so I encourage you to just check those out. But I want to go deeper into why this dynamic is so effective. What you're experiencing is an abuse tactic called intermittent reinforcement. Too many of my clients have never even heard of this tactic, so I kind of wonder if you haven't either. It's this psychological conditioning loop where inconsistent rewards, you know what I mean, those hit or miss moments of affection and kindness, it creates a stronger emotional bond than a consistent one. What that means is if he was abusive all the time, you would leave. This whole principle is actually the exact same one used in slot machines. The reward is random, so your brain gets addicted to trying. You're trying to be good enough. You're trying to get it right. You're trying to earn the next moment of kindness. Now here's an example. He cancels plans and he makes you cry. 2 days later, he shows up with your favorite Starbucks drink, holds you in the kitchen, and he tells you he can't live without you. And now you're wondering, was it really that bad? Maybe it was just a bad mood. That whole tug of war, that keeps your nervous system in a constant state of vigilance. You're scanning, you're second guessing, you're self-correcting, and all of this chaos becomes normal. Your body adapts to it, but you're actually tense all the time, but you barely even notice because what's constant is the chaos. Maybe you kind of flinch when your phone buzzes, or you don't realize how often you're holding your breath until he walks in and suddenly you exhale. You rehearse conversations with him in your head, trying to figure out the right words at the right time when he's in the right mood, and that's never going to happen, right? You might think that something's wrong with you. That sort of brain fog, the exhaustion, the anxiety, it's your body trying to survive a relationship that is emotionally unsafe. And the worst part, you start to believe that you have to earn basic human decency. That if you're still hurting, it's because you're not healing fast enough. If you're still upset, it's because you're too sensitive. That's what he's telling you. He'll demand that something's in the past and that you just get over it. This is the clean slate that I'm talking about. The clean slate, it's the only way forward. That's not true. A clean slate involves no repair, and that's on purpose because he's trying to avoid accountability. You learn that love is just tolerating harm, but it's always as long as there are these occasional highs. You start adjusting, and it's not just to him, but who you become in the relationship. And honestly, so much of this is happening unconsciously. You don't even realize it. You start saying things like, it's not that bad. At least he doesn't hit me. Doesn't every relationship have its problems? Doesn't every couple argue sometimes? But you're gaslighting yourself before he even has to, because questioning him is riskier than doubting your own instincts. So every time that you do that, your standards lower, the bar's now in hell, and you become so much easier to control. Okay, so I've been talking about the ways that they put in effort. Let's talk about the illusion of effort, because this is a trap. Now, this is the trap that keeps so many women in it longer than they want to be, because he's not doing nothing, right? He's doing just enough. You told him to go to therapy, he's going, but he blames the therapist. He stops yelling, but now he stonewalls you. He says he's working on it, but you're still walking on eggshells. And so you think like, at least he's trying. And the truth is, this feels like improvement, but it's actually just a change in tactic. So trying isn't the same as changing. You know that, right? Trying becomes a performance. It's him buying more time. It's not effort. It's literally manipulation, but it feels like effort. And I know from having been in it that it really feels like effort. But ask yourself, what does it actually cost you to live like this? Because you can stay, right? You can survive this kind of relationship. Keep trying. The cost is expensive as hell. You lose yourself. You stop trusting your voice. You stop asking for what you need. You stop dreaming and planning. You're not able to speak freely. Everything becomes about managing him, his moods, his reactions, his comfort. And you don't get angry anymore. You just get quiet. Maybe you stop crying, or you cry alone in the bathroom or your car. And it's not because you're okay. It's because it feels useless to do it. Maybe he gets angry. Maybe he mocks you, or you just get dismissed. Maybe you tell yourself, okay, I'm surviving. But what you're calling survival is emotional self-abandonment. Let's talk about what change and repair really looks like. Real repair looks so different than from what I've described. It involves ownership and accountability. It sounds like, you're right, I hurt you and I want to do better, but it comes with the changed behavior, not just those words, not just gifts and charm. It requires humility. Now, abusers and narcissists, they avoid humility like at all costs. True accountability is going to threaten their control, so they're going to give you like just enough nice to silence you, but it's never enough to change. So if you feel really stuck in that cycle, if you feel like you're holding on to those little breadcrumbs, if you're constantly rationalizing your pain, I want you to hear that you're not too much, you're not too needy, you're not the problem. You are just responding like any human would when someone they love is confusing love with control. And if you've stayed, we all stay too long, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you were invested. And honestly, I always wish that we could just be more compassionate to people who literally just want to be loved. We victim shame like, you picked them, you wanted to be loved, you mean like a normal person? It means that you hoped. You believed in the version of him that shows up in those rare moments of sweetness. Those moments didn't used to be rare. He used to be nice all the time. This doesn't make you naive. It makes you human. You were trained to bond through pain. And that's not your fault because this person did it on purpose. What matters now is what you do when you actually start to see this. So if this resonated with you, subscribe for more content that helps you name, understand, and break these patterns. Please share this with someone who needs to hear it. Abuse thrives in silence. Clarity is the beginning of your freedom, and honestly, you deserve both.